Hello and welcome to the 6 Months to Six Figures series of the Double Your Freelancing podcast. I'm your host, Zach Swinehart. And in this series, you'll follow a specific freelancer, in this case, Maia, as I coach them from early stages to earning a six-figure annual income, which technically Maia's already doing. So the new scope is 6 figures take-home income in her pocket versus just gross. Broken down, that 6 figures comes out to $8,333 a month. And the challenge is to see how quickly we can get Maia there. And the goal being to get her there within 6 months. So in this series, we connect every week or two, and it follows the same format as the DYF Accelerator community. So if you want to get coaching just like this, one-on-one with me over video, you can check out the DYF Accelerator to learn more about that. To learn more, you can go to dyf.link/DYFA. So let's dive in. One thing I got to call out, by the way, which I feel like we need to merge it into the intro because every single time we talk, you're in a different place. Maia is literally in a bus right now. If you're on video, does it not look like a bus? It looks like a freaking nice Airbnb, but it's just a bus. There's even an air conditioner in it. Wow. In Costa Rica. #digital nomad lifestyle. So Maia, I was looking at the calendar. It's actually been 3 weeks since we spoke. Long time. Sounds like there've been a lot of really cool updates. You sent me an email saying what your rates got up to. Maybe you can just tell us on the recording because I don't used to see it in front of me anyway.
Yeah, really exciting. I think I want to start the podcast saying that this month I'm taking home $11,000, which I manifested. I said every month, I seriously, I write in my journal every day. My business is making consistent 11,111. And this month I saw it was $11,080. And I was like, so
gosh,
yeah.
I feel like I need to buy something from you for like $30 just to get it to that.
I'll send you my Gumroad
Maia.
templates.
That's so awesome. Yeah, $30 worth of Gumroad templates. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow, go you. Amazing.
Super
I'd give you a round of applause, but it would make the mic really loud, but just clap, clap, clap.
Really, really exciting. We did it in less than 6 months, I think. Really, I'm blown away. Everything works, really. Coaching works.
Wow, that's so great.
Right. It's incredible.
So before I do the typical, go ahead.
Other months were like closer to like 5, 6. Like it was never 8 exactly, right? That we wanted to get to 8, but then this month it was 11, and I'm like, okay, that compensates.
Yeah. Before I do the typical Zach thing, because what I want to do right now is I want to like dive into that. I want to figure out how much is profit. I want to find out where it comes from, that sort of thing. But I don't think that's going to be what you want to talk about today. You mentioned to me that you want some feedback from me on your pitch deck. So I know you want that. But besides that, what is on your agenda? Like what would make today great? What do you want to leave with?
I think pitch deck would be amazing, and I'm super ready next time to talk about numbers because that's something that I know that we have to talk about now that I am a 6-figure business owner. So I think, this time just the deck, because that is essentially in this past 3 weeks what has gotten me to make that amount of money. So I want to make sure that everything is SAC approved. And I want you to roast it. Like, I don't want, like, I remember in the beginning you were like, oh, do you want encouragement? Do you want me to cheer you up? Today I want just pure, like, roast me, really.
Just the unemotional problem solver Zach mode.
Exactly.
Not the one who's trying to remember to be a nice coach
Exactly.
mode. I think we can do that, though, in less time than our session is. If you were to have, like, a second priority after that's done, what would that be?
Start to talk about numbers, like a little bit.
Cool. All right, well, then let's just dive into the pitch deck. So if you are on audio only, I'm going to try to explain what I'm seeing to you. Basically, Maia has this deck. And Maia, can you remind us of like what your funnel is looking like? It's basically you do a story on Instagram, someone DMs you, they say, hey, I want to work with you. You send them the deck. Like what's the whole flow before booking a sales call look like?
I've been getting more and more referrals. So there's like 2 big funnels. The first one is, I post a story on Instagram, people inquire. I send them my intro call or my deck. If they're interested, they get on an intro call, and I have 100% success rate on intro calls, which I've been like writing, and it's crazy. So intro call, and then we book. And the other one is that someone refers me to that person. Someone refers that person to me, an old client. And so I send them the same thing. I pitch them and I send them the intro call link, and then we get on an intro call and we book the session.
Okay. What I'm wondering is if, I think it's a can of worms, maybe we discuss it later, because I don't know if it makes sense here. Because like in both of these instances, you have the technical capability of following up with these people and you're not really doing email marketing yet. But I think what I'd like to see you moving towards, as we're talking about like scaling your marketing, scaling your customer acquisition and onboarding and stuff, would be posting your client wins to an email newsletter somewhat regularly. Because as you recall, I got the idea of like a good 80-20 newsletter from you, because you were talking about sending like maybe a newsletter with simple client wins. So if once you get to that stage that you're ready to like send stuff regularly, I think it could be worth thinking about having this pitch deck be almost like gated behind an email collection. I'm a little bit on the fence, because the drawback is that you're going to increase friction to view your pitch deck, which will mean less people do it. But then the advantage is that you automate your lead nurturing. So like right now, if someone hits you up on social media and you send them this and they don't book a call, you have to remember to manually follow up and nurture that. And they get air quotes nurtured based on whatever the social media algorithm decides is worth putting in front of them. So they're like on your air quotes list because they follow you on social, but what if they don't see your shit? Whereas if you could get them into your email list, then they are going to be getting nurtured just automatically because they're already there. So I think that's something. I just want to plant the seed. I don't think we need to cover that today. But
no, but it's amazing, because yesterday I did something different. Instead of sending them the deck, I sent them the sign up page to get the workflow, like the download the service deck. So they're gonna get an email sequence that I haven't done first, but they got the first one.
Okay, well then, yeah, you're already doing it anyway. So if you think this is well received, I would lean into it, and I would. The trouble is this. So if you check out the episode I just launched the other day on the Full-Time Creator podcast, that solo episode that I mentioned getting frustrated because I lost 45 minutes of it.
I haven't watched it.
If you check it out, in that one I talk about like what makes a good lead magnet. Might give you some ideas. The tricky bit is that a good lead magnet gives somebody like a quick hit of value, and a pitch deck, a pitch deck doesn't really do that. You know, like a pitch deck is kind of a sales tool. The reader doesn't really get value other than they learn about how to pay you money. So I don't think a pitch deck is a very good lead magnet, but we can architect that later. So let's do the roast of the pitch deck, and then we can talk about like we can do some workshopping on funnel stuff that might be more relevant for today than numbers, and then next time we can talk about numbers. So pitch deck, I'm going to share my screen and describe it to those of you who are just listening. So to reiterate, Maia's air quotes funnel here. Oh, let's see if I'm looking at my screen mirror. Let's see if I can figure. I've gotten better at doing everything backwards. I think it's working.
Oh my God.
So Maia's funnel. Someone reaches out on social media or she gets a referral. She sends them to this thing I'm sharing on my screen, and then they hopefully book a call. What's your follow-up situation like? Like if you send this to somebody and you don't hear back, do you chase them, or do you just wait, and if they're going to be interested, they're interested?
I wait. It's been maybe because I have so little clients still, but I've had 100% success rate with this funnel because it's so manual.
But when you say that, do you mean that 100% of the people you've sent the deck to have also closed?
No, 100% of the intro calls.
And that's what I'm asking is like, I think that's great. I'm asking, do you follow up with people who you sent the pitch deck to, but who haven't yet booked a call? Or do you just...
No.
Okay.
I don't like the feeling of chasing people around, but I know I should be doing it.
I don't know that you should be. I'm actually with you on that one. So I had a strong rule back in the day that I learned the hard way, which is like, I do not chase clients. I do not chase leads. Because the thing is, the work that I did and the work that you do, it's very collaborative. It's not like selling someone a product. Like maybe if I could chase them, they bought the thing and now I never have to interact with them, fine. Chase them, close as many sales as you can. But as a freelancer or an agency, you have to like get stuff from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I found
Mm-hmm.
the hard way that the leads who I had to chase and chase and chase to get them to close are also the clients who I had to chase and chase and chase to get me their shit, and the ones I had to chase and chase and
Exactly.
chase to actually pay me. So I think that that's where the newsletter is the nice middle ground, is that it allows you to passively remind them that you exist and do cool stuff
Mm-hmm.
without having to chase. And because you're prolific on social media anyway, like that box is ticked. It's just, again, I'm a big advocate for platform ownership, and you don't have that on social, but social is
Yeah.
working for you. So I don't want to fix what's not broken. One thing that might also be fun to play with, I've been learning a lot lately about Facebook ads. This is actually
Mm.
something I think you would benefit from a lot. So with meta ads, not necessarily Facebook ads, and this is a big can of worms, I've been learning from Zach Spuckler from Heart Soul Hustle. He has a really nice boot camp that I think you'd enjoy. But basically with meta, you can retarget, you can build custom audiences of anyone who's engaged with any or specific posts on Facebook or Instagram. So if you have a certain post that's very good for closing, like closing in the sense of getting people onto these discovery calls, you could retarget people who have DM'd you. I'm pretty sure that you can define audiences based on people who've DM'd you. And if someone's
Mm-hmm.
DM'd you, it seems like you're pretty sure they're a really highly qualified lead. So you could retarget the people who've DM'd you, sending them reminders to like check out your pitch deck or download your lead magnet. And I bet that would be a very, 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 very fruitful ad. Like you get a crazy
Cool.
huge return. So that's something to think about later. I'm playing with that
Mm-hmm.
these days, so I'll keep you posted on that. But alas, I digress once more. The pitch deck teardown. So on my screen, we've got Maia's pitch deck. Homepage has like a big ass heading, Blank Page Lab, her business name, with some kind of artistically laid out subheadings. FYI for you, you've got this weird circly bit here. I don't know if you meant to have that there. Do you see
A
that?
what?
You
Oh,
have this
nope.
like hand-drawn circle.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
No one will
Page
notice it, but
one,
you and I.
circle. No, amazing.
There you go. I already gave you a piece of feedback on your pitch deck. So this homepage, cool. It's fine. You and I have different vibes, and I'm trying to respect your brand, because like just because I would do it differently doesn't mean the way you're doing is wrong. And so if it were me, I would want these first pages to be like a lot more punchy and results oriented and stuff. But I think for you, that's not you. You know, like your vibe is like, hey, inner goddess. I hope that's not offensive to say, but like inner goddess
No, no, no.
manifestation. So like I think having
More mysterious, yeah.
yeah, having the brand guide in line with that, I think is cool. So this homepage that just says Blank Page Lab, we build brands that are very much alive. Our signature is finding yours. I think that's cool. Second page, manifesto. We are a multidisciplinary design studio that builds brand identities, clarifies purpose, and creates intriguing visual stories. It's like one paragraph. We approach every project as a blank page. Ooh, I really like that. A medium to create brands that allow their founders to catalyze possibility. New paragraph. By blending the art of visual storytelling with visual play, we create, cultivate, and evolve brands. I like all the copy here. I really, really dislike this full justification. It's like really just difficult to read for how few words are on each line. You can keep it if you like. It's a design choice, but if it were me, if I were going to do this full line justification thing, I'd probably play with sizing so that like you know those ones where like one line of text would be really big, the next one's small, but it's all like fully justified in like a puzzle. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Something you could also consider is just making these three things bullet points. So like builds brand identities as like a bullet point or iconography, clarifies purpose, bullet point or iconography or imagery. Iconography is not as much your jam, but you could have like photos that represent these things. But this is nitpicky. In terms of the core stuff, the core strategic stuff, I didn't write this down. This is just an opinion as I go. So we're about to get to the part where I do have critique this. So the next page here is, we keep it simple. Subhead, we have two visions for early stage businesses. One, shake the roots of your industry. And two, create a brand that serves your big life vision. The reason I'm hemming and hawing on this one is that later you talk about your three packages and like, I don't know, we have two visions. Shake.
Like two
I
goals?
almost feel like, What was that?
Like instead of visions, putting like goals, like we have two goals for early stage businesses. That way it's like clear that it's not our offers, but just like our what we want to do, like our promise, our transformation promise.
Or I think that the reason it's confusing is this like delineation of the fact there too. Like if it were rewritten to be like our vision for you, colon, 1, shake the roots of your industry, 2, create a brand that serves your life vision. Like, I don't think it needs all this text saying these are vision. Like you can just say our vision, colon, and then the vision. Because given that it's only 2, like we want you to shake the roots of your industry and create a brand that serves your big life vision. But the double vision thing is weird. But this, I don't really have beef with this either. It feels a little bit unnecessary because what is this but part of your manifesto? This is like what you want for them, and that's kind of what the manifesto is too. But again, I don't really have big beef with it. The part I do have beef with is here. So the next page is basically like a highlight of the clients. So the headline is, our clients are visionaries who believe their brand is a medium to catalyze possibility, from the wellness space to natural cosmetics and all the way to diverse personal brands. The one thing that all of our partners have in common is that they hold their vision. I think that's cool. That's really cool. What I think needs to happen is to like, this I would say is optional, but I would like you to explicitly say, here are some of the brands we've worked with, so that all these logos and things over here are like, it's clear that this is your work. Because the differentiation between you saying, hey, here's a thing I'm designing to show you myself versus, hey, here are things we've designed for clients, like it's a blurry line. And that's my main piece of feedback here, is that this page that I just read off, when you hit next, you immediately jump into one of your clients, Shed and Bloom. The page shows some of the stuff you did for them. But I feel like there needs to be what I laid out in my, and again, all of this, don't think this is me like passing down the way. This is just opinions. This is just opinions.
It's really helpful. I love feedback.
But don't feel like I'm going to be upset if you don't take it. Don't feel like you have to take it. Don't even feel like it's necessarily right. Just take the stuff that resonates. So yeah, the segue between this and Shed and Bloom, it's like, to me, it's not even necessarily really clear that this is a client. So what I think would be smart is to, if you're going to edit this page to say, here's some of the clients we worked with. If this page had like, you could have an intermediary page that says like, well, okay, here's the
recent work.
Here's an idea. If this page before this headline, so before it says our clients are visionaries or whatever, if there was like small uppercase bold or whatever, like a pre-header that was basically like our clients or who we've worked with or something, and then this headline, it would kind of set the stage. And then what I was thinking is that each individual client, right now you only have 1 page per client. I was thinking that what could be really cool is if each client actually had 2 pages. One of them is a cover page that comes before what you currently have. And the cover page would say their name, what type of business it is, a testimonial from them, and like a one-liner of what you did for them. So once I hit next from this like our clients page, it'd be cool if the next page was like client profile, like a small pre-header, big ass header, Shed and Bloom. Probably their logo should be on here. And then big ass testimonial is like, Maya's so awesome. The studio catalyzed my vision into awesomeness. And then below that, small text that's like what we did for them, colon, brand strategy, logo design, this thing about my top 10 favorite vaginal lubricators in the case of Shed and Bloom.
That's what I did.
Nice. So yeah, I would love to see that, because then it kind of like sets the stage for the next one, and it serves the purpose of giving social proof. Right now, there's no testimonial. Great. Yeah.
Such a great idea.
So yeah, so I think that of all my feedback, that's the one that I very strongly feel like would be smart to do in some capacity. And then the next bit of feedback. So from here, Maya's portfolio basically just goes from each client. So as I said, I think each client should have a cover page. So it'd be like cover page, portfolio, cover page, portfolio, cover page, portfolio. And then we do that for about 5 clients. And I think where this is really important is with something like the conscious bar, which is one of Maya's clients that is like, oh, cool, date sweetened organic chocolate. This all looks super sick and frankly makes me salivate and want to eat chocolate. But I don't actually know what you did. Like, did you design their logo? Did you design the packaging? Did you design these like 3D imprints? Did you design these like dripping chocolate dates? Like, what even did you do?
Everything.
So I think and that's sick, but I think you need to say it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because I think it's very common for someone to either be a packaging designer or a visual identity designer. And so someone would be like, okay, cool. So Maia designed the logo, but I would need to take that logo and bring it to somebody to actually design the packaging, or vice versa. Knowing in advance all the cool shit you did helps people understand that this is relevant to their needs or not.
I like that. And something that really works on Instagram, I find, is when I explain a little bit of the background of the client, and then people say, okay, so she works with people like me. So I think that second page of the case study would be great to say, Shed and Bloom, pelvic floor specialist, service provider, looking to go full-time on her offers, the transformation that we did with this and that. I really like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. If you, I think you're in DYF University, as I recall. If you reference that case study course, in there somewhere, I know it's still to this day a work in progress. One day I will finish it, I assure you. But somewhere in there, I have my like case study template of the different sections that I believe a good case study should have. I think if you reference that template, I think I linked to the Notion in the workshop version of it. This pitch deck, each of these client profiles, you could strip out a lot of those elements of the case study, because I think you're absolutely right to highlight those things, and I didn't account for that. Because what you're describing, what you said a moment ago, it's essentially the case study format. You say like, what was their pain? What was the solution you implemented? And how did that solution impact their business? That's like the whole double your freelancing rate thing, the whole Socratic questioning thing. So I think that's awesome. That's a great idea. Cool. I'll keep going. So next bit of feedback. This page, so once Maia's portfolio finishes, she has this other kind of like cover page that it's like a segue into the packages she offers, basically. And I think this page needs some work. I think you're too close to your own services, because I know for months you've been calling them, to me, containers, but I don't, who wants a container? Number one, container, like unless this is some branded term within your niche.
No.
Okay, then yeah, since it's not, I would say you don't need the word containers. What I would propose, so I'll read this out for you listeners. So right now, big ass headline, we have 3 containers. And then surrounding subheadlines is, we know what you need and when, colon, we have 3 containers. And then subheadline, crafted to bring your vision to visuals. And then kind of big subheadline will be curated for founders who are ready to manifest a brand ecosystem that connects, engages, and converts. I don't know. I feel like I read this and I like have no idea what even it meant, you know? So what I would suggest is simplifying this and getting rid of the containers thing and just saying like 3 ways you can work with us, or like how you can work with us or something.
Do you like the name packages? We have 3 packages.
I feel like packages is not cool use for you. I would use
journey?
the word like packages. Huh?
Journey? We have 3 journeys, because I've been calling it journeys to some people, like Basecamp journey, Essence journey, expansion journey, and it resonates.
I think it's cool when it's in the context of an individual one, but like
3 journeys, yeah.
But 3 journeys,
packs.
I don't know. I don't feel like that's clear. That's why I was thinking like, you could do it, if you want to use the journey thing, you could say like, let's
choose your own adventure, something like that.
Well, you could say like, let's go on this journey together. And then it could be something like 3 pathways. You could use journey and pathways if you wanted to, but I don't know that you even necessarily need a label here. Cause like, I think if someone's getting here, like if I were to word this in Zach lingo, I'd probably say something like, does that all sound cool? or like this, I would workshop this. I would
Mm-hmm.
not ship it as I'm saying it now, but I just want to not make people wait for 20 minutes while I sit here in silence. So I'd say something like, does this all sound cool to you? Or I'd say something like, in like a quote, quoting the end user, I'd be like, Zach, this sounds sick. How can I hire you? And then the headline would be, here's how you can work with me. And then the subheader might be like, I have 3 packages to serve course creators at all stages of their business. I would say something to substantiate it, because the service offering I've been playing with at Conversion Wizard is kind of like what you're doing here. I essentially have my kind of like road mapping is an audit. So someone can pay me to look at their website and point out the conversion opportunities. Somebody can pay me for done with you services where I'll like write their copy, but then they go launch their A/B tests. Somebody could pay me to do totally done for you A/B testing. People could pay me to do like very basic strategy and stuff like that. So I feel like it's the exact same offer ecosystem, but the way that I'm differentiating is based on the level of support, stage of business, and the budget. Because if it's a new business, they shouldn't be A/B testing. If you get like 200 visitors a month, you don't have enough traffic to even run an A/B test. So I wouldn't want to do that for that kind of person. So similarly, if it was like, want to work with us, big ass headline, it's just a question. And then I don't like journeys and I don't like pathways because they're too vague. Like if it's like, we have 3 journeys you can take with us, I don't like it. It's like, well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make it clear.
Yeah.
If it's pathways, it's not clear. But if it's packages, it's a little bit too generic. But I would rather see a generic word like packages. Personally, I'd rather see a generic word like packages that is at least clear than something that's like technically on brand, but it doesn't actually make sense.
Yeah. And also I'm really trying to stay away. Like if I see this like journey, it sounds like ayahuasca, you know, like I just want to be a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That was the vibe I was getting too.
Like my Instagram's already that
journey.
vibe. I need this to be better. Yeah. I need to make money.
My brand identity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say maybe just use the word packages for now. Go talk to ChatGPT. Have it find some synonyms for you. I get good synonyms from Chap. But yeah, so this page, I would just make it more clear, more obvious that you're making this segue. So the words that I had down from my notes earlier was just like 3 ways you can work with us. Then you don't have to call packages or anything. It was just like, here are the 3 ways you can work with us.
Yeah, and maybe even like seeing it now, me being a visual person, like putting just like the name Basecamp Essence and expansion just here so people know that those are the 3 or something.
Yeah, so maybe pre-header, you could do like, does this all sound, whatever the Maia branded version of like, does this all sound super fucking sick? So like, does this all sound activated soul?
Is it full body? Like, yes.
Yeah. And then the headline would be the 3 ways you can work with us. And then you'd have iconography for these 3, which I think you don't have iconography. I think it'd be worth thinking about it. Like Essence, you could have like a little like spiritual flame. And Basecamp, you could have like a campfire with a tent or some shit.
Yeah, almost like elements. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think
So you'd have the headline, you'd have the iconography, and then we segue into each. And what would be nice with the iconography is that, especially, I like that you have this branded color thing for each, although I think expansion should probably be a bit darker because the white on that light gray is tough. But
it's not gray.
But yeah, I love the color branding because you can tie those color brands into this cover page and it makes it more like you attach to it easier. So then Maia, basically each brand or each service that she offers gets its own page. And I like how they're laid out. I can try to do a readout for the people on audio. But yeah, I'll do a readout like kind of structurally. I won't read all the text. But basically each page. So quick question, Maia. All of these visual examples I see on these, so like Basecamp, it shows these like creams and makeups and stuff. Are these things you did for Basecamp clients? Because like expansion, for example. So this is stuff you did for an expansion client?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Great. Perfect. So her page is basically, first one, it shows the title. So it says Basecamp, and then it has like a little subheader that says 8-week journey from concept to launch. And then it has a big ass subheader that is the one I have the main critique on. which says branding from the ground up for the visionary founders that want to build a brand that redefines the world we live in. And then below that, it like kind of explains what's in the package. And then on the right side of the page, it shows the investment and the timeline. And each page kind of breaks down that way. But what this lacks, this is my biggest feedback for you. And I don't know why I was like, oh, we have time for so much. I'm always so bad with time.
Zach,
I'm
knew
looking
it.
at the time. I'm like, oh man, Brad's waiting for me in 3 minutes.
Yep. We can do a part 2 because this is my offer ecosystem. This is like, it could be a whole podcast, honestly, just this.
But what I would say is this. If you ask your, like, let's say I'm on the phone with you and I'm like, yo, Maia, here's my business. I sell these things about vaginas and I'm wondering which package I should hire you for. Mm-hmm. And then what do you ask me to tell me? Because what these pages don't have right now, like what I really want to know is which one do I buy for my own needs? Mm-hmm. And there's like not really a way to determine that because everyone's going to say, well, sure, I want to build a brand that redefines the world we live in. But then I look at this and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a service provider. And then I look at this and I'm like, well, yeah, I like the idea of mentorship. So I think it would just be, I think the most important thing to do here is to just be really clear who each one is for, how you characterize like why I should pick one versus the other, and then what the business impact is of one versus the other, like how they're supported. So this part that currently at the top says 8-week journey, I don't think that is used effectively. I think that this should be like really clear. Like, so instead of 8-week journey from concept to launch, like all that's doing is tell me how long this takes. I would rather have it see like full service branding, mentorship, and strategy. And it says that there. And then this one might say like done with you coaching and design. This one would say like ongoing support or whatever, like just the thing that it is. And then the big ass thing should be more like about the actual unique impact that this has via what it does. We can dig into this more next time, but yeah, like the fact that it's working right now is great. The last little note, I'm trying to go fast since I don't want to make Brad wait. So the big takeaway there is that the big text here, I think, is too vague. That's the big takeaway. And that also I want to be able to see more clearly how to differentiate between these to know exactly which one is right for me.
And you don't think the top, the circle that says for personal brands, one-on-one guidance, and the other one helps a little bit?
Honestly, like I ignore all that.
Oh, okay.
The fact that it's in this circle, it looks like a tag. Like it's like, you know how your eyes.
But I thought the tags were going to be for that. Like brand creation, social templates, online presence, launch. You go on the past and it says package design, Like the idea is that Basecamp is for brands, Essence is for people, and expansion has no design. It's only coaching. But if it's not clear, I'll work on it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like, why is it for brands instead of people? Like, I'm asking you, why is it for brands instead of people? Like, what's different? Why couldn't a person use
a product? I think it would be more a product, a restaurant, something like that you don't really need social media templates. Like, I mean, yeah, good question. I think more than the deck, that has to do with like the offer per se, Basecamp. I've been booking only Essence lately. Okay. Which is interesting. It's like, am I gonna niche down onto personal brands? Because I like package, but I'm passionate about like Essence mixes coaching with design, and it's very like done with you, which is my passion now.
Then yeah, I would say probably that strikes me as like more aligned as well with you. But I would say that just needs to be clear. Like make it clear that Basecamp is geared towards products. And if you want this stuff to not be glossed over, do not have it in a circle, because people will just like, it's kind of like, you know, pricing tables, how they're like, ooh, best value, that little ribbon on a pricing table. Yeah. Like that's what this looks like to me. And because I saw that here, my brain just ignored all the future ones.
Okay, cool.
Let me tell you a couple quick notes before we go. Sorry, Brad. The last thing I wanted to say is that on your CTA page, you say something like, all in, let's do it. Click, book your intro call here. I think you really need to make sure that you actually have that URL there. So instead of here as a link, it can still be a link, but it's like here : and then the page URL. I think that's really important.
Okay.
That way, if someone's looking at it or doesn't understand that they can click, it's optional. So it'd be something like book your intro call here, blankpage.io/call or whatever. So shall I do the little outro thing, or do you have anything you want to clarify before we go?
No, we can talk. Everything is super clear, and I really liked what you said. I have it written all here. I think we can do the outro, and we can keep talking about this next week, and hopefully we can get on to numbers too.
Cool. Sounds great. Then, yeah, I guess at this point, dear listener, if you enjoyed this, leave a good review and whatnot. Go to, Double Your Freelancing, sign up for the email list and things. This is crappy CTA. And as a reminder, if you enjoyed this and you want some coaching just like this, you can check out the DYF Accelerator to do one-on-one coaching with me. You can learn more at dyf.link/DYFA. And if you want to learn more about Maia's business, where can they follow you, Maia?
It's blankpagelab.io, and for my Instagram, it's at Maia Ben.
Awesome. Ben. Cool. Well, so great chatting, Maia. And see you. Remember not to hang up. And dearest listener, thanks for being here. And see you guys in a week or two. Bye.